One. On that note, I do have to take a break. When we come back, we're going to have some very serious questions that you've presented to us and give you the answers to them. So if you'd like to join in, you can email me right now. It's lynn@lynndoyle.net. If not, stay with us, because a lot of the women that have written to us already are probably asking the very same questions that you're asking there at home. So stay with us. Our continuation of our series, Focus on Women, continues right after this. Honor of National Women's Month takes a hard look at the hard life of a lot of women as domestic violence victims. They have either been mentally or emotionally abused, or they feel like they are a slave to the finances that are often controlled by the man in a situation. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Lynn Doyle. We're glad to have you with us. If you have questions or comments about domestic violence, as always, we encourage you to write to us and tell us what your experience or your concerns are. Here are some that we'd like to get your response to. Are you right now in what you consider a dangerous relationship? Have you ever been in a situation like that? And if so, how'd you get out of it? Do you feel like you have nowhere to turn? And if you do leave a bad situation, do you know what rights you have? If you have questions on those topics or anything concerning domestic violence, go ahead and email me at lynn@lynndoyle.net. As always, you can always find us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. I have a great group of experts here giving us some ideas and suggestions on how to get out of a bad situation. Right before the break, we were talking about what constitutes a domestic violence situation or an abusive situation, and we said a bad relationship is not necessarily an abusive one, but something that's emotionally crippling, intimidating, threatening is also as bad, but nothing can be quite as bad as physical abuse.
I don't know, you know, I think physical abuse is more dangerous, right? Because it's like imminent that this person can really hurt you or even kill you.
Yes.
But I think in the case of physical abuse, sometimes it's easier to identify as an abuse because you see the bruises or you see the broken arm. But when it's emotional abuse, sometimes that is even harder to identify because you don't see your self-esteem breaking down.
Right.
You don't see that. So you don't identify it.
So the scars aren't as visible to other people, but they could impact you.
Exactly.
But let's talk about physical abuse, because it is dangerous, and as those numbers that we talked about at the top of the show indicate, women are victims at an alarming rate, not just in the States, but all around the world. So this is a problem that's predominant everywhere. What should we look for as signs of someone who may be potentially abused, but they're not telling us? Are they distancing themselves? Do they have unexplained injuries? Like, what are some things that we could look for?
There are some different signs in our experience. Well, if you see the bruises, that's the obvious signs. If you see any bruises of the person with the sunglasses trying to cover in and you ask questions and the answer don't make sense.
Right.
Okay. The other thing that we see is that one of the tactics that the abusive partner use to control is isolation. So if your friend, your family member, stop hanging out with you, stop returning your calls, someone that starts missing work or gets fired, because that's another way to control. Someone who starts getting depressed or very anxious, eating disorders.
All of these are good warning signs. And so what then do we do? Is there any suggestion that you could have for a friend or a loved one who says, I think my friend is being abused?
I think it's important, you know, for everyone to always go back to actually their immediate family. You know, they are a great resource of support to give you the courage to move forward with the steps that you're going to legally need to take. You know, obviously one could pursue filing police reports, which is so important because that's the only way eventually someone can help you. It has to be documented, and letters from friends notarized are not enough to reflect a record of something happening. So the first and most important thing is to attempt to kind of reach out to those that you know truly do care about you for the additional support that can walk with you during this path, this journey of regaining your control again.
A lot of times women are afraid to seek help, Mindy, because they don't want to lose what they do have. And many times the partner has said to them, I'll take away your kids. If you complain or you make these allegations against me, I'll get the house, I control the money. And that for a lot of women would really paralyze them.
I do hear that a lot. The law protects them from that, though. And one of the first things I would say when you talk about women being victims or getting empowered is getting the knowledge and the education so that they know where they do, in fact, stand. So as far as getting the house or getting the children, that's absolutely not going to be the case. But you need to find somebody where you can find out the information. You need to take those steps and be strong enough to either find a lawyer that you need to be comfortable with. I hear oftentimes women saying, but I didn't understand, they didn't take the time to explain. Well, make sure that you demand it. At some point, you have to take responsibility and make sure you find a place where you feel comfortable getting the answers.
Okay, I'm going to ask a very basic question. A lot of women who don't have any money because the man has been controlling it or has taken it or whatever, are saying, I can't even go to an attorney. I can't even afford an attorney. What do you say to them?
Well, there are several different avenues, one of which is finding an attorney who's going to then understand the situation and go to court to get attorney's fees. There's also legal aid. There are different circumstances under different settings. Recently, I had a woman actually call me and she said, I can't even get to the financial documentation to show legal aid that I don't have money.
Right.
And I contacted an attorney on her behalf and said, she needs a litigation attorney, I do mediation. Will you talk to her, understand the situation, and work with it? And so that's how we handled it.
I don't want to be the pessimist here, but we have clients that they do everything that they are supposed to do. They get an attorney or they come to our free legal services, they file for a protection from abuse order, they get the protection from abuse order, and a week later the abusive partner is knocking the door. They are calling the police is taking 2 hours sometimes because they are busy in Philadelphia. Or we even had a client in our legal center, protection from abuse order, everything. And her ex-boyfriend showed up once, twice, the third time, killed her. So even if you take everything that you're supposed to do, the truth is the system doesn't protect you in the way that it should protect you.
Okay, so I had to say this, but right now, all the women that were maybe just now leaning toward seeing if they could get help or confiding in someone are saying, wait, I don't want to become a victim of homicide.
I think
I can live with being a victim of abuse.
And that's one of the main reasons why people do not leave, fear. And I think when we tell someone that is being abused, oh, go talk to an attorney and just break up or divorce and keep going on with your life, we have to realize that it's not easy. It's more dangerous than we think. And the one who knows how dangerous it is actually that woman. So instead of going and telling them what she should do, we should ask her, listen, what do you want to do? And there is help. If you want support, if you want help, if right now you only want to talk about it, I'm here just to talk about it. Maybe you're not ready to take any other action, but at least I'm here for you.
All right, I don't know whether we've helped people or scared them even
I know.
more. I'm scared myself.
Again, it's important that the only way this can get better, and clearly there is legislation that needs to be talked about and reviewed to make this a stronger enforceable document. But in the meantime, this is what is available, and this is what they should attempt to do. This is the only way that some type of help could come for them, is to take the steps with filing for a protection from abuse order. And again, if you don't have the financial means, there is legal aid, as Mindy was stating. Also, you can go to the local prothonotari's office in your family court, and they will assist you with filing these documents pro se.
Okay, on that note, I do have to take a break. We didn't get to our frequently asked questions from our viewers, but we're going to, I promise, on the other side, just 2 minutes away, so please stay with us.